Good evening, San Diego. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis, and thank you for tuning in for your CBS 8 Plus weather update. You're going to hear us talking about the weather impact over the next couple of days, how it's going to impact us, especially when you're talking about some hot highs here in San Diego County across inland areas. So what is the weather impact? Well, it's going to be a combination of hot highs, triple-digit heat, as well as dry air. That's going to lead to elevated fire weather concerns. We've already had that with brush fires breaking out across the county, especially across inland areas, and we're still looking at those concerns, especially on Friday and Saturday when temperatures climb even more. We're going to be between 95 to 122. That is hot. That is going to be for the desert, with more favorable for those 120 marks, teens, but then also talking about 95 to 100 degrees across the inland valleys. So inland temperatures are getting hot. That also includes the mountains, as well as the UV index being extreme. So please protect your skin when you're out there. Stay nice and hydrated as we are looking at these hot highs in our future, and then also be on alert when it does come because of elevated fire weather concerns, especially for Friday as well as Saturday. Let's break down the alerts just a little bit more. You might notice that it's actually been extended yet again by one more day, and that's for the desert. You have the excessive heat warning that now goes all the way until 9 p.m. on Wednesday night. So still talking about next Wednesday. Highs between 115 to 122, but peaking around that 120 to 122 mark, at least on Friday and Saturday. We also have the excessive heat warning that will go into effect for the mountains as well as for the inland valleys. That's with highs across the inland valleys 95 to 100. 95 would be Escondido, Poway. You're talking 100, that's upwards of 100 degrees for Valley Center, Alpine, as well as Ramona. You're also looking at the mountains. Below 5,000 feet, we're looking at some heat. 98 to 103. It is going to be hot over the next few days. So this is going to start on Friday and last all the way through Saturday with the excessive heat warning for the mountains as well as for the inland valleys. Your highs for tomorrow, for the 4th of July, we're looking at some 90s that are going to be in the forecast. El Cajon at 90 degrees, also some low 90s for Valley Center as well as for Alpine. And then you have 80s. That's for Vista and for Miramar. You got the 70s right along the coast, and you're going to have a lot of friends right along the coast with you tomorrow too, as we are celebrating the 4th of July. So there's something to be mindful of. You'll have more mild conditions closer towards the coast, milder conditions in the forecast as that marine layer continues to return each night and morning, really favoring the immediate coast and keeping things on the mild side compared to the rest of the county, especially when we're talking about the inland heat that is in store. 116 degrees tomorrow for the 4th of July for Borrego Springs. If you will be along the coast, you're going to be at the beach. Keep in mind, we also have elevated surf. So while you're trying to get away from that heat and be out there and just have fun with your friends and family, you're also talking about concerns right along the coast. It's always best to swim near a lifeguard. And, well, if you're not a skilled swimmer, you're not even advised to be in the water during this duration. That starts tomorrow morning, lasting all the way through Sunday night. And that's with the surf about 3 to 5 feet and sets up to 7 feet and a high risk of rip currents at our local beaches. So once again, if you're not a skilled swimmer, you are not advised to be in the water. And this also is going to be the same time we're also experiencing the heat. We're talking about that warm up that's going to be happening on Friday and Saturday. So please use caution right along our coastline. For the 4th of July, your forecast, we're looking at 3 p.m. around 76 degrees. You're keeping those 70s around at least until roughly about 6 p.m. But then we get ready for the night. Well, for any fireworks, you got the Big Bay Boom. You have fireworks popping up across the county. You're going to have mostly clear skies, and that's going to be a temperature of 69 degrees if you are going to be checking out the Big Bay Boom. A little bit cooler, but still in those 60s across inland areas around 9 o'clock for tomorrow night. When we look at the big weather culprit with all this heat, it's high pressure. It's an amplified ridge of high pressure. You have a series of low pressure systems. You have one towards the east and one towards the west, but those are just dropping in and not really making a big difference for this high pressure system to break down. So if we had a stronger low that would just kind of push it a little bit more, then we wouldn't be dealing with such an amplified ridge. But actually those two lows, as I mentioned, to the east and to the west, are going to lead to it being more amplified. And that's why we even have heat alerts tonight that extend all the way to the Pacific Northwest and across Arizona. A whole lot of heat that is in store all the way into the weekend as this high pressure system strengthens even more. When we look at our 7-day forecast for the coast, you have widespread 70s in the forecast that are just a few degrees above seasonal, not a big jump with temperatures. So relatively mild all the way into next week. We have the elevated surf through Sunday. We have the morning cloud cover and the afternoon sunshine. Some spots on Tuesday could be in the low 80s, but more widespread with those low 80s. That's going to be on Wednesday of next week. For the inland valleys, we're calling that the weather impact alert days. That's going to be on Friday and Saturday. That's when we have the excessive heat warning and the hottest temperatures we are expecting for this week. You have 89 degrees tomorrow for most inland areas. That's going to be basically your afternoon high for your 4th of July, and then even more of that heat into the start of the weekend. We break away from it just by a few degrees as you're seeing those 80s returning back to the forecast by Sunday and Monday, then low 90s set to return by next week. Across the mountains, highlighting every single day because the temperatures are going to be above about 92 degrees. You're talking 95 plus for most of the duration over the next 7 days for the mountains, but really pinpointing Friday and Saturday as those weather impact days because of the warning, and you're talking triple digit heat. 103 will be the high for the mountains. That is on Friday, 100 degrees on Saturday. The first time that has happened so far this year. Not just talking about summer, but it's been a while since we've had triple digits across the mountains. Then breaking away from triple digits, but still relatively hot, you have the 90s into next week. Speaking of hot, you have the desert, 119. That will be the high for Borrego Springs, for the desert community here in San Diego County on Friday. You're still in that range all the way into next week. And because these temperatures are about 115 plus, that's why the weather impact is going to be from now all the way until Wednesday of next week as we continue to hold on to that heat. Please be safe. Please protect yourself. Drink lots of water, protect your skin as well. As mentioned, that UV index is extreme. Also, something else worth noting, if you don't know anything about cool zones or heat-related illnesses, knowing the signs or anything like that, go ahead and go to our website, cbs8.com. Evan and I have been updating a story. Sean will continue that over the weekend as we're looking at more of this heat into the start of the weekend. It has a list of cool zones that you can go to in your community, ways to beat the heat as well for not just you, but also for your pets. We also have the signs when it comes to heat exhaustion as well as for heat stroke. Heat-related illnesses are the #1 killer here in the United States, more than tornadoes, more than thunderstorms, and we just want to make sure that you are safe during this really hot stretch in our forecast. So once again, go to our website, cbs8.com. You'll see right there on the homepage a story that will be there to help you as we are continuing to monitor this heat all the way into next week. I hope you have a great 4th of July, and thanks for tuning in.